Good morning. This is Ron Mickens. Fraud upon the court. You know the topic. The truth is in the details. Gotta remember, one lie always leads to another lie. So stay with me. State Attorney Jerry Hill, with his fraudulent, frivolous, fake affidavit, we objected to it. We rejected it because it had this trick in it. It had this trick to extricate the co-conspirators from their torts and their crimes. His fraudulent misrepresentation was that we, Ron and Gloria Mickens, transferred our property to Damron Construction Company. Jerry Hill, his fraudulent, frivolous misrepresentation was fashioned to extricate himself from liability and responsibilities for failing to conduct a fair and impartial investigation, for failing to charge, prosecute, arrest, imprison the co-conspirators, and to punish their companies. He was conspiring to collect the blood money. He was intentionally holding these people harmless to keep them from going to jail and sacrificing Ron and Gloria Mickens from the very beginning. So there were no need for a trial or litigation because of the co-conspirators' confessions and admissions of guilt. Okay? It was absolutely no requirements. Jerry Hill and his investigators was 100% knowledge. They had 100% knowledge that these co-conspirators had committed numerous crimes and torts. They conspired. Jerry Hill, he conspired with Stewart Title Guaranty Company to perpetrate a frivolous, fraudulent complaint. You know, I call it what? A preempted strat, because they were no plaintiff, they had no standing, they had no right to sue, they had no cause of action. And you got to remember too, that this is Stewart Title Guaranty Company, because they are vicariously liable for the rest of the co-conspirators' misconduct. State Attorney Jerry Hill, he obstructed justice. He obstructed, criminal investigations by the sheriff, by FDLE, by the FBI even, okay? They just kind of stood by and watched Jerry Hill conduct this conspiracy to deprive us of all of our constitutional and civil rights. And they knew, they law enforcement officers, they knew he was doing it for the blood money. Okay, the complaint was fake. The trial, litigation was all fake. The co-conspirators had all what? Confessed. They had all confessed their guilt. Judge Strickland adjudicated finding on the merits of our fraud, cancellation of deed, quiet title, ejectment, and breach of construction contract proved 100% that the co-conspirators' complaint was fake, frivolous, false, fraudulent. It proved that the co-conspirators lacked standing, lack a right to sue, like a right of action, like cause of action. They lack facts, they lack issues, they lack claims that could be noticed, pled, alleged, litigated, and adjudicated. Judge Strickland's findings proved that 100%. Also, their confession. You got to remember, they confessed from the outset, but Jerry Hill started covering up from the beginning for the blood money. We all know Judge Strickland decided to join the conspiracy after we prevail on the merits of all of our claims. He's going to try to replace his judgment on our counterclaim with his own personal, unique judgment remedy. In other words, he wanted us to hold him harmless and take a $60,000 lot in exchange for all of our claims for damages, which was about $11 million, and the house that we had won by windfall, for a $60,000 lot. Who in their right mind would do something like that? So we had to appeal. We prevailed on appeal. Judge Strickland's own personal unique remedy was reversed because it was unsupported by the pleadings, unsupported by the evidence, unsupported by the record, objected to by both parties. He used recusal, disqualification as a pretext to avoid from doing his lawful duty, non-feasance on his part. So we know Judge Moore comes in and takes over, and she's going to she's going to impose it and do what Judge Strickland had already attempted to do, but she's going to go about it in a little bit different way. She's going to fraudulently lie and say, we desired it. She's going to use rescission, an equitable remedy that's not even available. She said that Ron and Gloria Mickens essentially desired and sought rescission. That's a big lie, okay? This was done to set aside, to vacate, to replace, supplant, reverse, overturn, omit, annul, nullify, obsolete, ignore, dismiss, abort, abandon Judge Strickland's adjudicated findings on the merits of our cancellation of deed, ejectment, and breach of construction contract claims and causes of action. She imposed this lie to omit, to avert, holding the co-conspirators liable and responsible for their crimes and tort, and Jerry Hill for not being responsible, and him being liable for his crimes and his tort, and depriving us of our constitutional and civil rights. You call this a non sequitur. It does not follow this rescission judgment. Nobody invoked the court's jurisdiction for it. And why in the world would we substitute a claim where we're going to give a 27 claim in exchange for one claim that's going to order us, where she's ordering us to pay the losing party? 27 claims. She's going to order us to pay the losing party. Now, who in their right mind would desire something like that, or could possibly desire? But this is Judge Moore using fraud upon the court to deprive us of all of our constitutional and civil rights, and saying this is what we essentially desired. She ordered us to pay the losers. She ordered us, the way she wanted us to go by doing it was to order us to so-called permit discovery / permit inspection of property. There are 2 contractors come out to the property. Ladies and gentlemen, we've already had a trial. Both parties objected to this. Nobody asked the court for this. This talking about court-ordered inspection of property, a court ordered to permit inspection. Both parties argued that this was outside the scope of the second DCA mandate, that we were both denied due process and equal protection. This was out of context. This was a lie to come up with evidence to support a judgment that was outside the law and nobody sought, nobody desired. Okay, we certainly did not. But also, this would give Judge Moore the authority, or the next judge that took her place, authority to what? To destroy us. And the case wind up in Judge Constein's hands. And this is what he proceeded to do. Especially, I have to make sure I You understand that the Second District Court of Appeal affirmed it. Once the Second District Court of Appeal affirmed Judge Moore fraudulent misrepresentation, her fraudulent judgment, Judge Constein took the case, and that was like a license for him to fabricate, come up with anything he had to come up with to destroy us, to reverse Strickland unlawfully, to reverse the trial judge. Okay, and he did. You got to remember too, Ron and Gloria Mickens, we didn't do absolutely nothing to anybody. We did not know Stewart Title Guaranty Company, Stewart Title of Polk, Canady, Rewis, nor Highsmith. The Damron, we knew them, but they breached our contract. He became the fraudulent contractor and the fraudulent owner. Judge Strickland found that the Damrons breached the contract for failing to do quality work free from faults and defects, failed to submit change orders as required by the contract in writing, failed to have change orders approved by the Mickens as required by the contract, and that he failed to carry out the Mickens' loan commitment with Nation Bank, thereby depriving the Mickens of a VA protected construction loan. And he failed to pay subcontractors as required by the contract. So Damron, none of them had a claim. None of them had claims or cause of action, facts, issues. Judge Strickland's findings proved that to 100%. So where did all these tabs with these fraudulent orders and judgment come from? They came from Jerry Hill and Judge Moore, fraudulent misrepresentation. Judge Moore, fraudulent misrepresentation that we desired and sought rescission. This is the only way that they could produce all of this fraud, is by saying that Ron and Gloria Mickens desired it. Okay? How you going? We desired to give Damron Construction Company a sanctioned judgment for over $200,000. We desired to give Stewart Title Guaranty Company a judgment for over $200,000, a so-called foreclosure judgment, a judgment for Stewart Title of Polk, Canady, and Rewis. People that we never even knew existed. So I know you done heard me say these things before, but no facts, no issues, no claim. They confessed and they lost. So I just want you to be clear that this fraud, those fraudulent orders was generated, or they were produced by that fraudulent misrepresentation by Jerry Hill. They reversing Strickland, and by Judge Moore. These fraudulent orders. The Federal District Court and the 11th Circuit, they jumped on board. Okay, they adopted these fraudulent misrepresentations, these fraudulent orders and judgment by the lower court. So they just piling it on. Judge Strickland, not Judge Strickland, but Judge Goldstein got this so-called authority now, fake authority. So you're going to create all of this fraud to stigmatize us and to defame us, to have a sheriff SWAT team come out and remove us and to kill us if we try to defend our right to enter, occupy, possess, enjoy, control, our own private, real property. Okay? And you got to remember, this is what they're saying. They're following Judge Moore order, saying that this is what Ron and Gloria Mickens desired. And this is what we sought. Everything that he produced or he generated came from that lie and Jerry Hill's fraudulent lie that we transferred our property. So this is why Judge Constein has been authorized by the Second District Court of Appeal to convert the winners into the losers, convert the innocent into the guilty. Okay? Turn the honest and just into the dishonest and unjust. Turn the good, into bad. This is what he had the license to do. And this is what they did, because they certainly treated us like we were 3/5 humans, like we were slaves. Okay? They sacrificed us. Okay, I know you don't like hearing me saying some of these things, but we have to face reality. And they did it what? Outrageously, shockingly, intentionally, maliciously, willfully, negligently. They had full knowledge that everything that they were doing was in direct contradiction to Miss Canady, Miss Rewis, and the Damron them confession. It was in direct contradiction to the trial judge, Judge Strickland's findings of facts and conclusions of law on the merits of our claims, which was binding, could not be relitigated, protected by res judicata and collateral estoppel. And then there was never another second trial. How could you possibly overturn Judge Strickland? Alan Damron and Ron and Gloria Meekins was never in the same lawsuit together anymore, because the case would have had to been about his fraud. So they created these fraudulent orders and judgments and representation to defame, to stigmatize us, to destroy us, to deprive us of all of our Constitution and civil rights, due process, equal protection, representation, right to redress. Okay, discriminated against us, retaliated against us, did everything imaginable to destroy us mentally, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, and spiritually. Okay, so you got to hang in there. You got to hang in there with us, because every once in a while, someone come along and decide to take a stand. Now, I think everybody in their right mind know that Ron Mickens did not desire to stay in jail for 90 days for telling the truth. That Ron and Gloria Mickens did not desire to be thrown off our property by a sheriff SWAT team and would be killed or murdered if we tried to defend our right to enter our property. I think everybody in their right mind know that that would have been the worst mistake that any human being could possibly make. And also, you got to remember too, they had to destroy my employment too. I was assistant principal in the school system, so they conspired and deprived me of all my constitutional rights when it came to my employment. And I'm going to talk to you guys about that next, how the Polk County School Board and the superintendent joined the conspiracy to destroy Ron and Gloria Mickens and our family. So hang in there with me. I hope this all making sense to you. They had absolutely no right. They had no facts. They had no claims. Judge Strickland's judgment proved that 100%. Their confession proved that 100%. This is being done by the state attorney, Jerry Hill, to keep from having to lock them up and put them in jail, and for the attorneys and the judges, to collect the blood money. So I hope it all makes sense to you. But if it don't, I'll see you again. I'll see you down the road again. Okay, in the words of Ida B. Wells, the way you right wrongs is to shine the light of truth upon them. I'll see you the next time.